You know what's so funny is I'm literally doing less. I'm doing less than I ever have. In the whole fitness industry, what we've been told, like our entire journey is like, okay, well, if you're not losing weight, you need to drop calories more, you need to do more exercise, this, that, and the other. And like, it's like I respond so negatively to stress. So anytime that like I'd get to a stagnant point and I'd do more and more and more, I would literally just like puff out more and more and more. And like my gut health stuff, I like came to like a kind of a complete halt last year where I had no choice but to quite literally strip back on everything and just like really, really, really do the internal work. And I'm literally training less. I'm focusing less on food. And it's like, because that stress is relieved from my body's actually now working with me rather than against me. And it feels so, so good. Like it feels like genuinely the first time in my entire fitness journey that my body is actually like doing what it was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like I feel like for so long I knew that I had like this underneath, but I was constantly just like always just like flooded with like inflammation and like water retention and just like fluctuations every single day. And now I'm like actually like chilling. And it's so nice.
It is. Homeostasis is hard to achieve. We really don't, we underestimate how stressed our body is until we actually feel good. We're like, whoa, I was not good.
100%. 100%.
Wild.
Yeah. It was so interesting. And I feel like I always like, as much as like you go through things in your life that like you literally like, why does this have to happen? I always get to the end of like a challenging stunt and I'm like, literally, thank God, because how else was I supposed to learn that lesson? You know, like life will challenge you in all these different ways to teach you something. And I feel like this was such an important part of my like fitness journey and my health journey and just like my journey as a whole was to be like, you need to actually have balance and like you need to like chill out a bit because I was always like, what's next? What's next? What's next? And like doing more and more and more. And my body literally was like, girl, you need to chill. As much as I didn't think I was stressed, I was so used to living in stress that was like my norm. So like, you know, running your own business and those types of things, you're always in a state of stress. So it was like my personal life was stressful. And then my training, as much as training is so healthy on the body, it is a stress as well. Then years and years and years and years and years of dieting, you know, another stress on the body. So it was just like my entire life, it was just stress on stress on stress. And I wasn't balancing that out with like, you know, yoga, meditation, slow movement, like going for walks and actually switching off, not just being like, okay, what do I have to do today? Like just rushing into the next thing. Just like stripping everything back and not overcomplicating literally everything and like just enjoying the things I get to do every day. And my body is just like reaping it up, which is just the best feeling.
It is the best feeling. It's just so nice to feel good in your body and in your mind, and you realize that it's all connected. When your body feels good, your mind's going to feel better. When your mind feels good, everything else feels better.
100%. I've always said that. It's like being like you can achieve this goal body, right? But if your mindset is not good as well, that body will mean shit all to you. Like you will not feel good. Like every single thing comes down to your mind. And like even if, you know, you're not at your goal body, but you feel good mentally, you're going to feel 1,000 times more confident than like the opposite. You know what I mean? Like if you were in this body that you hate, in this body, but like you hate yourself sort of thing. So yeah, it's so nice to actually have that balance. I was thinking the other day, it's like, this is probably the best I've ever looked and the best I've ever felt. And like having those two together is like, because I have, you know, I've been super lean before and obviously I've had anorexia and those things where like people will compliment you, but you're like, I don't even see what you see. Like I don't feel good, but like it's nice to be like, no, I've worked so hard and I'm so proud of where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very common misconception that when you reach your goal look, you're going to feel like that person. But actually, when you start to feel like that person, that's when you start to look like that person. It's definitely not the other way around.
Yeah.
It's very similar in bodybuilding when people like think that when they get to the comp lean, like their whole prep, they'll be like, I look shit, I'm not small, I'm not big enough, I'm too small, I'm not lean enough. And they think that just like magically they're going to like love their body on show day. And they, oh no, I'm going to be all good with a tan. But then show day comes, they're still disappointed in themselves. They haven't enjoyed the process. And then that's usually when they just have a bad post show as well.
Yep.
And so it really is about like flipping the script of like when you feel like that person, you feel in love with your body, then that body will come. But it just cannot be the other way around.
Yep.
What were your first steps to getting back to Desi?
Yeah, so basically it was like, all right, coach, like, what am I doing? And it was sort of a sit down, and he was like, I was ready for you to like change your mind.
Finally.
Yeah, he's like, I was waiting here and now I'm ready. Yeah, he's like, finally, like you've come to your senses. So yeah, it was very hard. And I think like because I've been through so many injuries, it's so hard starting again. And I feel like that's the hardest thing for people is to start something or to start the gym or to go and do something, because it is so hard to start at the start. It is so hard to make it a habit. But once you're doing it, and you're enjoying it, it's the easiest thing ever because you're enjoying it. And that's my biggest thing is I knew that I was unhappy not doing it. And then I had to be happy. So I started doing the thing that made me happy, which was sport and training and competing. So getting up, getting into habits again, going to training every single day, and even just slowly putting it back, implementing it back into my life, because it wasn't going to come back just like that. Like patience is one of the biggest things I've learned in life with sport and with injuries and with everything. Like patience is honestly the biggest thing. It doesn't come straight away. It takes a long time. And even through injuries, like I'll get to there and then I'll get injured again and I'm back to square one. But that doesn't mean that that all that progress is lost. I look at injuries now because of that as a massive learning curve and another step forward, because when I get injured, I feel like I learn so much more. Like I get to start back. I get to start back from ground one. I don't go back to ground one. I get to start back from ground one. I get to learn all those things again. I get to learn the basics. I get to build my body up from ground one. Like there's so much that is involved with injuries and stuff, and there's so much that you can learn from it. And like I wouldn't take any of it back, to be honest. Like I think that it's definitely shaped the person I am today. It's made me more motivated and more hungry for what I want, and dedicated to what I want too.
Yeah, I think it's really important that reframing, just as you said, I get to go back and learn from scratch. I get to change movement patterns. It's so common for people to just be like, oh my God, like I've lost everything. It's like, no, you can literally start from scratch now. And I think that reframing is really important, and seeing it as a lesson and an opportunity to pivot. And, if you've got injured in the first place, it probably meant something was wrong.
Yeah.
So you can go back and fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it means that you need a break, to be honest. Like we put so much into it, and it's like, okay, your body does need a break. It's breaking. So you need to go back to like ground one. You need to fix the basics and you need to build yourself back up. And it was exactly like with my back. Like when I fractured my back, it was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I was doing everything wrong. My core control was wrong. Like everything wasn't supporting like my back. So I had to go back down. I had to work with a Pilates instructor, things that I'd never done before. And then that's when I started to learn more about my core and building my core strength up, which then helped me in the gym. And I was able to lift more in the gym. And then I was able to run better on the track. Like it was just things like that I had never done at the start that I was able to do. And now I take that as a learning thing, and I'm able to teach other people as well about that. So, yeah.
It's amazing to see, and even just having that reframe in the back of your mind. In the moment, obviously, it's not going to be as easy. Yeah. It's not going to be as easy to be like, okay, this is a lesson. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, come on. But it's over time that becomes a little bit easier to reframe. Yeah. And I'm sure that now when you do have something that comes up now, it's easier and quicker for you to say, okay, what am I going to learn from this? How is this going to help me in the future?
Yeah, exactly. It's never a highlight reel. Like I think, especially doing social media and stuff, I think a lot of people think that like our lives are highlight reels and stuff like that, which it definitely isn't. Like I struggle with it. And when I get injured, like I definitely struggle with it. And it's not easy at all. It's the hardest thing in the world to be able to get back up and keep going and to get through it. And I think the biggest thing is having like a big support network around you as well. I've learned that having the right people around you massively helps. I think doing it alone can be so hard. You need people pushing you to push yourself. And yeah, like I think that's like such a big thing. Yeah.
How did you reframe your identity then when you got back into sport? Did you feel like you went straight back to being all in, or did you then try to have a little bit more balance?
I tried to have a little bit more balance, I think. It was hard at the start and it took years. Like I wanted to just go straight back in, and you really can't just do that. I tried to have balance, but I've only just realized now, and it's been years after that, that sport isn't my identity.
I think before all this happened, strength for me was being able to eat all my meals and go to the gym and have a good session and get a good video. Whereas now strength for me is being able to get up and make my bed and leave my apartment and eat breakfast and go get to the gym, make it to the gym. That's the difference between it. And each day, like my strength will get stronger, and getting up and making the bed won't be on the list anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like that will be something that I'll do just because I'm excited to get up for the day, instead of being like, oh, I have to get up for the day. Because like we're very lucky. Like we get to live a very good life, a very privileged life in Australia, and we're very privileged people to be in a country like ours where we have rights and we have like freedom and we have, you know, things that we can do and stuff. So I'm not going to let like my definition of strength like stop me from trying to improve it immediately. Like I think that it's very important to keep improving your like definition of certain words. Like strength is a very important word for me because I feel like I change it very, very frequently. Like being able to get up and do things is very, very important to me. But before that, I was in bed for like 2 months straight and I wasn't leaving my bedroom. I wasn't eating. I wasn't showering. I wasn't doing anything because I was so upset until I was like, this is not the definition of strength. This is not being strong. This is being really weak. And I need to get out of that. I need to stop that and show myself that I'm stronger than that. And that's like the difference between before and after.
Well, strength can mean so many things. I had Lauren Simpson on the pod the other week and she was talking about, you know, when she first started in the fitness industry, strength to her was like squatting 120 kilos or something. And then strength to her, now she's got a child. So strength to her is like fueling and keeping this kid alive. And like it can evolve. And if it doesn't evolve, we end up getting stuck in ruts.
Exactly. And I think it's okay also to understand that it can evolve, but it can also devolve. Like it can also go down and become more simple, and then it can also evolve and go up and become more powerful. Like you can change anything in your life. You can change the definition of words. You can change the definition of being fit. Like you can say fit is like being really good at long distance running, or fit is really good at lifting like 500 kilos. Like it's very different what you think each word means. And I think it's okay to change the definition of that word as many times as you want. Like you don't have to ever have like a certain cement meaning to a certain word.
I think right now you're just self-aware and I really like it. And do you think that going through everything that you went through has given you a deeper sense of purpose, deeper sense of self?
Yeah, I think I've learned like so many things like about like my life that I genuinely thought were like over for me. I was like, I just think that I've learned that it's like my full life, man. Like I can do whatever I want. Like I'm 23. I can go somewhere else if I want to go somewhere else. I can move again if I want to move. I can quit my job and do whatever I want. Like I think I'm very conscious that I'm doing my own thing, and I'm just very excited to like see where that goes, knowing that I have like the freedom to do that and I don't feel stuck by something. I don't have anything that I need to get back to. Like I can do whatever I want. Like I can say yes to brand deals and I can do this and I can do that, and it's up to me. Like I don't have to go and be like, oh, babe, can I do this? No, I don't have to ask anyone anything. I don't have to, unless I'm like getting like a full body tattoo, I talk to my parents. But with anything else in my life, like it's my choice. Like if I want to do it, I can do it. And I think that's something that I'm very self-aware of now. And I'm very like happy that I've learned that kind of thing.
What would you tell somebody who's in the thick of it, who is having to ask somebody for permission, who feels stuck, who doesn't feel like they have any control over their choices? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to talk to somebody. Like, I don't care who you speak to. Like, talk to anyone at the gym. Talk to anyone at work. Just say, hey, like, what do you think of this? Like, Don't even say that that's what you're going through. Like, oh, hey, what do you feel about this? Or like, what's your opinion on this? Just so you can understand. Because I can guarantee you that anyone you speak to, if you say, oh, do you have to ask your partner for permission to wear bike shorts to the gym? They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I send photos every day of just to make sure my outfit's good. They're not going to be like that. They're going to say to you, that's not okay, that no one has control over what you do and don't wear. That's not a thing. Like, it's not appropriate, and you shouldn't have to be asking people for things like that. And when you speak to someone about it, it instantly opens up so many things in your mind that you go, oh, well, yeah, no, that doesn't sound right, actually, now that I think about it. Like, that's not right. And that's the first step into getting out of it, is to learn that those habits are not natural. They're not the right things to be following. And I just urge people to just speak about it. Like, they get so like bottled up and like isolated, but the more you talk about it, the easier it is to get out of it. And that's what I've learned. That's why I'm sharing it on social media. It helps me every single time.
It's funny just because people don't care, right?
Oh my gosh.
We think everybody cares about us as much as we care about ourselves. But at the end of the day, nobody ever really notices.
No, literally. Like, I wouldn't know when the last time you posted. I wouldn't even know what your last post was, but I can tell you the last 5 I've done and how consistent and how good they've been.
Yeah.
And then you just like rewatch it a million times, nitpicking if the title should be up here or down here. No one notices, no one cares. And majority of the time, the most viral content is the one that with the less effort.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah. And we have this fear of being cringy, but you're cringy until people are jealous. Like,
yes.
People will cringe and then people want to be you. So it's like, why are we not just embracing the cringe anyway?
Yes, that's a very good one. Because I always found like the people that I followed on social media, I'm like, oh, I can't talk on my stories. I can't post a workout video because I'm not as good. But it's like no one cares. But then when you get to a certain point, it's like then everyone cares. So it's like you just got to start from the start posting it. And I promise you there's going to be like one person following along. Like I remember the very first reel I did, someone was like, oh my God, I just did this workout and loved it. And I was like, why? Like, why would you do that workout? And then that's what gave me motivation to keep going, because I'm like, okay, well, if one person likes it, I can build on that and other people will like it as well. So you'll never cringy, because I promise you, like, I have some reels saved, like people have under 500 followers. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And I'll save it in my like content calendar and it's great.
Absolutely. And if people are cringing anyway, they're just usually the ones that aren't doing the work.
Yes. Oh, what's the saying where it's like the people who judge you are the only people who are under you. The people who are above you will never actually judge you or bring you down. That was like the biggest learning curve for me, because everyone who's actually helped me are always above me. Anyone who's like discredited my work or like had an opinion about me and not supported me has always been quote unquote like someone under you.
Or don't take criticism, don't take advice from anyone you wouldn't want to swap lives with, right?
Yes.
Like somebody above you, take their advice, take their criticism, but they're not going to be the ones criticizing.
Yeah.
But someone under us, why? Why do we even care what they think?
Yeah, exactly. We get so caught up in that mindset.
I know. But it's hard as well, because we place so much emphasis on being perfect, especially being a good bodybuilder, being good in business. Like things have to be good, but they also just have to be. We have to just start before they can be good.
Well, we always say like just be consistent over perfect. But when you're such a perfectionist, it's really hard to actually be in that mindset. It's like the number one thing I tell my clients, like, don't worry about being perfect, just worry about being consistent. But with myself, I'm like, you literally have to be perfect. And that's what I've gotten caught so much in, I would say, the last month. And then in the last like 2 days, I've actually had to pull myself up on it, because it's brought me like the worst anxiety and stress ever. So I'm like, the second I dropped all of that, I feel like a lighter human being.
Yeah. How does it feel to share so much of your life online? Do you feel pressure to always be perfect, or are you happy sharing the lows as well?
I would say I want to share more, but I'm still scared of like the criticism, but I'm also scared of my clients. So if I say I'm on my stories, I'm really stressed, I'm really overwhelmed, I'm not going to have clients come to me, because they're not going to want more like put more pressure. If my coach jumped on her stories and was like, oh my gosh, like I have so many check-ins today, like I've got to onboard this client, I've got to do that, I'd be like, don't worry about my check-in, just leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I struggle with the most, because my stress a lot of the time comes from work, because I put a lot of pressure on myself for work over bodybuilding, because I know that I can just show up, do the work, and that comes so easy to me. But business doesn't come as easy to me. So I put way more pressure on myself to be perfect. And that's what I really find hardest to share. But then equally, bodybuilding's a weird one because the industry, there's a lot of like noise and you can get so caught in it because if you complain, it means that you're not being grateful you chose to do it. But then if you don't complain, it means that it's not hard enough. So I find that that's what I really get caught in is like, okay, how much do I actually share? This time I'm really trying to be as open as possible. I am way more open on my podcast than anything in the world because I know that my community has to sit there for an hour every single week and listen to me and they enjoy it and they support me. Whereas social, something can go viral, be sent to someone. It's a lot more like tangible.
Yeah. And there's no context.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's more to life than being your smallest possible self. I think you got to take a moment to look in and really connect with yourself and ask yourself how you feel. Like, do you feel happy? Do you feel strong? Do you have energy when you got to do these certain things? And I think if any of them are a no, then yeah, you just got to realize that training, for example, if you're training and you're lacking energy or that sort of thing, you'll feel so much better having food in the tank. And yeah, it's so hard to go from that, coming from someone who has been in that situation. But it's so worth it at the end of the day.
Do you think that step one would be taking the appearance out of it, or do you think step one would be more like putting the performance in? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's all about the mindset. I think one, realize, do you actually like the way you're training? And if that's a no, you don't have to do it. Like if you don't like running, you don't have to run because everyone else is running. And I think a lot of people especially are getting caught up in that now, like seeing everyone else run and thinking they should do that because that's the norm or that's what's trendy right now. But if you don't like running, you don't have to do it. You don't have to jump on the bandwagon. You can find something else you like. If you like boxing, you can do that. Because if you genuinely like the way you're moving, then you're going to stay more consistent. And when you're consistent, that's when the progress happens.
Absolutely. Just like what we were saying just before we started recording, like the more you focus on the performance and the enjoyment of it, you always end up looking better because you're more positive, you're fueling yourself better because you want to rather than focusing on that. And it's the same with anything. When you don't enjoy it, you resent it. You just feel like you have to do it.
Yeah.
There's no effort really. You're just getting through the motions, which is always tricky though. I find like even in the young girls starting out in bodybuilding, they're like, well, I'm doing it because I want to look like this. And like, well, do you enjoy the process?
Yeah.
Like, or I want to go to High Rocks Worlds. Do you actually like?
Yeah. Do you just want to do that because that's what is like the thing right now, or do you generally enjoy the process of doing that? Because the process is what 98% of the journey. So if you don't like that, if you're just doing it for the extra 1 or 2% at the end, then it's not going to be worth your while.
Definitely. And I like how you go about your social media though, because you post the wins and I love to see that, but you also post the training. You post how you're doing it, how you're feeling, the hard moments. And so as a viewer and people that are trying to get into it, they can also see those hard moments and they can kind of get a better idea of it rather than just being like, I want to be like Annabelle and win this. It's like, well, do you want to be like her when she does these 3-hour runs as well? And then I guess it's really positive.